we do have a fairly new participant. I think he's been with one conference with us before, Brad from Massachusetts, and that's in our next agenda item here. I'd like to give, and Brad has indicated that he needs to leave about at the top of the hour here. And I'd like to jump forward a little bit, and then maybe after Brad concludes his introduction and comments here, then maybe we can jump back to our discussion grand jury and trial jury process and stuff here. Is there any objection for me jumping forward a little bit here to accommodate Brad?
I'll second the accommodation.
Thank you, Paul. Brad, are you able to go ahead and give us a little bit of update on what's been going on with the Union Assembly and with the other groups that you're working with there surrounding the Republic Beacon 37 group?
Absolutely. So, for those of you that aren't aware, every other Wednesday night at 8:30, we hold a call. We call it the Union Call, and we're trying to get all like-minded people on the same page instead of having several hundred little groups around the country trying to do their thing and move things forward. We're trying to get everybody aware that there is a movement to try to bring us all together, not just by us and other groups, but people around the world who are being affected by what's going on here have requested. They want to know what the heck we're all doing. You've got plenty of people over here that know what's going on, and they want to do the right thing, but they're all moving in different directions. So we're trying to build a call where everybody can get the proper procedures for building communities and starting grand juries and petite juries and the like, so that we can have more people to draw from that are well versed in how to do these things properly. So we're starting to gain some traction. We're getting noticed by other groups. It's not happening overnight, but it seems as though I'm getting more and more calls for people that are interested. One couple of weeks ago, we had a call, and the subject of pedophilia was broached, and how all these children are being abducted by the Child Protective Services right out from under their parents' noses, how some of the mothers are being used and abused by the system. We started out, I think, with about 30 or 40 people on the call, and as soon as that subject got brought up, we had people calling others, and before we know it, we had an extra 25 or 30 people on the call just because of the subject matter. And we did have one of the women that was subject of the call actually get called, and she came on the call and was verifying all the information that was being reported by, we have one of the groups that we meet with. We meet with a group called American Voice, and the gentleman that runs that group, his name is Bill. Very intelligent, very educated, been part of the Patriot movement for almost 40 years, maybe even 40 or more. But so we're trying to teach people the proper way to move forward. We have a very woman that's part of his group. Her name is Lotus Justice. She is being detained. She has been picked up and being held by the de facto people. She has been in a gunfight. She's Very intelligent woman, and they've got her segregated from the general population of where she's being detained, but they're trying to get her into an area where she's going to be, they're going to be allowed to medicate her, and we all know that what that means. That once they're legally, not lawfully allowed to medicate her, then her chances of survival are going to diminish by leaps and bounds. So these are some of the subjects that we broach. We're starting to gain some notoriety. I had a long chat with a brand new group, the Ohio group, and they came on, and they're typically, they deal with Annabon rights, and they're dissatisfied with where she's at, where she's going. So they came on. We had a really good call. So we're moving forward. We're making things happen, and the group's growing, and we've got a lot of knowledgeable people available to come on and speak, and that's what's been happening. So, and that's where we're at. Was there anything else I told you, Charles, that I didn't put in there?
Do you feel comfortable touching on your inside track with your military contacts?
Yeah, I'll touch on that subject. I do have somebody that I speak with, retired general that I speak with, and information was brought forward to me, and it was suggested to me that there was a conversation between this gentleman and General Flynn, and when he found out that he had opportunities to speak with somebody that's fairly well heeled and dealing with Patriot groups and has opportunities to speak with several groups, that it was mentioned that I should do my best to get these groups prepared to come forward, which I have. I spent considerable amount of time working on that. Through somebody else, not General Flynn, it was mentioned that I might make requests from a lot of these groups that they prepare orders for the military from the Republic. So that we have not been called upon as yet. We do have several nation states that are working on orders like that. Some of them have been posted on their websites. So that's something that we're preparing for in case we're brought forward to hold any positions or help or do whatever it is that we might be asked to do. They do know how to get a hold of me. I'm readily available. I make myself available whenever they touch base with me. So we have I have contacts in the Middle East, all the way up to second in command at the Vatican, the Patriarch of the Maronite Christians, lives in Lebanon. Several very powerful people in the Middle East. So I can assure everybody that everything that we're doing here is being watched very carefully from those in that part of the world. Everything that goes on here affects them every day. So this fraudulent election is something that they're very keenly aware of and extremely worried about what's going to happen with the occupying force. So again, they know how to get a hold of me. I have probably had conversations with, well over a dozen groups, some of them more significant than others. I've had groups of 5 or 10, and I've had groups of almost 1,000. So we'll see where it goes.
Thank you, Brad. Comments or questions from anybody?
Will the gentleman from Massachusetts yield?
I yield. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, first off, let me assure you that the problem with the Child Protective Services is not unique to Massachusetts, which you probably already know. What we have, and this is also another matter to be addressed by a federal grand jury, is a fraud which is being perpetrated upon the Social Security Administration by the local states' departments of Family and Children's Services. So my question to you is this: have you, by any chance, inquired into the various state criminal laws of Massachusetts that are being violated through acts of fraud by people who are in charge of the Family and Children Services? And I yield.
I have the people that I have spoke of are not part of the Massachusetts nation state. The people that I've had on, most of the people that I had on the call, and the 2 women that I have alluded to are both from Ohio, and we have a lot of information about what's going on in Ohio. We have not yet brought this forward to a lot of the other nation states, but we did have a lot of people on the call from many states contributing information on that call, and I'm sure this subject will be brought up again at some point. We're really afraid of what's going to happen to the woman that has brought forward a lot of the verified information that has that's before the system, and the reason why she's incarcerated. Within the past week, she has been removed from her jail cell. She has been beaten up by 3 or 4 men. She's got several cracked ribs and a broken arm and a broken foot. So they had her on the ground. They were stomping on her. And I'll answer your question, your direct question that you asked me. None of this information about what's happening in Massachusetts has been addressed at this point.
May I inquire again?
Yeah, I yield.
Mr. Stewart,
yes,
may I inquire again?
You go right ahead.
Thank you. First off, if it has not been done, and I will make assumptions here in the interest of time. I'm assuming that no one has yet filed a federal habeas corpus on behalf of this lady. Is there anyone either in Massachusetts or in the state of Ohio who could take a federal habeas corpus on her behalf? And
yes, we have people that are working on those things as we speak.
Okay. Now, what about criminal accusations against the person or persons who have beaten this woman? Are there any criminal prosecutions being mounted?
Yes, this is all a fairly recent happening, and if I don't have firsthand knowledge of that information. This is secondhand knowledge. So if you'd like to have a direct conversation with one of her members of the group that she belongs to, it is Bill. It is the leader of it is the man that is in charge of their group, and he has a lot more answers and a lot more knowledge than I. So if you'd like to have an opportunity to speak with him directly, and if you especially have knowledge that would aid him in any of those questions that you're asking me, he would be delighted to have that conversation with you, sir. And I yield.
Thank you. Actually, I don't need to add any more to my plate. However, I'm not going to sit here idly while some poor lady is being beaten, abused, and having bones broken by a bunch of indifferent government agents. So, yes, I would like to get in touch with him, or you can put him in touch with me, whichever. Let me see if we've got a chat bar here. Are you looking at your chat bar by any chance?
I'm actually traveling. I'm actually traveling in my automobile, and I'm on my phone.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just get in touch with Charles at your convenience, and he can give you my contact information.
Very good, sir. I appreciate the help. I certainly can offer no. I mean, a lot of the people that are working this stuff have far superior minds in this matter than I. You know, I have one of the things that I have is I have the ability to contact a lot of people that I really can't believe that I have contacts with. So I'm really good at introducing people and solving issues without having the knowledge myself. So that would be greatly appreciated.
You're welcome. I yield.
All right, I'll contact you, Charles, and we'll get these two people together and see if we can't make some headway. And anybody that's on the call, if yourselves or anybody that you know, we do every other Wednesday night, and we will be having a call this Wednesday. Would like to be an introduction to what we call the union call, where the purpose is to bring all like-minded people together, where we can have speakers that are knowledgeable in the correct process and bringing forth communities and juries and the like, and learn how to do it properly, and get everybody on the same page so that we're moving in the right direction. Then I'll give Charles that access number. So if you at some point in time would like to get a hold of him so that you could come on, then you're all welcome. And if you know anybody else that might have a similar agenda and be interested in at least listening in, then by all means, you're all welcome. So at this time, I need to part ways. I have another call. I have some training to do on travel tags. So explaining how all that, we have a system that's pretty much to this point worked flawlessly. So I'm heading there's about a dozen people waiting for me at the moment. So it was a pleasure to speak with you all. God bless you all, and I'll be happy to come back on the call and speak with you all again. Have a nice evening.
Good night,
Thank you, Brad.